Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Dratlord44. Today I'm going to be talking about that rather frosty, big, giant Japanese dude, the Magara Nioh attacker. Yes, I'm sure that some of you will be very familiar with him. Now, basically what I wanted to do on this particular video is, rather than show what I'm using and what worked for me, I wanted to give more a mechanical breakdown of what the boss is likely to do, where enough you can attack. If you're heavy, you can, of course, maybe take a bit more hits and then just use it that way. If you're a magic build, of course, you'll know maybe roughly when to do it, but just a breakdown of that. And of course, if you're a light to medium build, then it's just more of a breakdown of how and actually you can intervene and attack and do damage and so on there. Now, of course, just coming up is the video in the background. I will speak after this is ended, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so one thing to mention with this one, shown as in the clip actually, is how deceptively fast this guy is. Considering his size, ooh, he moves quick, and he's got quite a range with that Odachi, so it's something you've got to be aware of. Also does a lot of damage. Now, certain things you will see is that he does a lot of big, massive attacks, but then he also takes a lot of time to recover. One like that one, for example, you can actually run up if you're a light to medium build and actually do maybe like a swipe and back off. If you're a heavy build, I probably wouldn't bother. Now that big overhead attack again, you can do the same. I would advise blocking it first and then running up and doing it, but as you can see in the background, he has a slow recovery, so you can do some damage. Now, magic builds, I mean, again, he seems to come under a kind of a human element, so he doesn't seem to have any exact weakness. I did use fire in this, to be honest, purely because he's a nice looking creature. I mean, he didn't do any harm necessarily, and as you can see, my corrupted blades, they glowed for a bit anyway to do me extra damage. Now, it doesn't really matter what weapon you're using, obviously it's always going to be a preference, and again, you're going to be just literally just running and doing the damage. Now, as you can see, I just sidestepped him. I use the guard and then triangle attack, which is the whirlwind for the dual swords. As you can see, that is the reason. And as you can see, I also do not get too greedy, because one of the things with this boss is that you can get too greedy, and of course he can actually do you a lot of damage, and you do see that later on in the video. This was the second time that I fought the boss. The first time I wasn't prepared and I literally just used it as a kind of a learning curve, and the second one I beat him in this video. Now, he wasn't an easy fight, there's no lie to that, but it's like anything. Soul cores, I would advise using soul cores that you're familiar with and that you know are going to be damaging and do well. Ones with range is a good one. Probably like Enki is a good choice actually, or even maybe the Ipandatra. Yasu's not bad, but since her nerf, she's definitely not as good as she once was. So yeah, like a lot of things here, what you're going to see is he's going to go mad and he's going to do a lot of big swipes. Now, you could burst counter that, to be fair, if you've got good timing. Otherwise, just back off like I did. And you just got to be aware when he does those big hammers, just to step it, roll it out of the way, or guard it if you're heavy. I think if you're a heavy, just guard. And as you can see there, he really does drain the Kai. If you try to block all of those big swipes, he's going to do it. Now the big thing with that is that you've got to try and definitely stay clear of that one. You'll see that again in a little bit later, and he does catch me a couple of times with it. Now I did use Sloth, as you can see just there, just to slow him down. And this is a point just to really try and just gain a bit of an advantage. He's still pretty quick, and you can see there that I survive only just, because when he dives at you, you can actually roll to the left. Now with this one, what he does is that he does a massive swipe. He's got a massive recovery time that allows you to do damage, and pretty much a lot of his attacks actually do. They're very deceptive. He's got a lot of damage, he's got a lot of range, and he's got a lot of speed, but he has a slow recovery time for quite a lot of his attacks. And this is a big key thing when you're looking at the fight. Now when he puts you into the Dark Realm, this is a different kettle of fish. You're going to drain your Kai quite a lot. Now what I would recommend, of course, is to make sure that when you are doing attacks, is to press the R1 to get the faster ki recharge. Not to get too greedy when you're attacking him, just to literally do damage where you can. If you're a heavy or magic build, you can try and keep your distance and do lots of damage. If you are, of course, a light to medium build like I am, you really can't take many hits. So you've got to just try and do a bit of damage, back off, do a bit of damage, and so on. Now I tried using Yatsu there. I would advise to try and time that better. And as you can see there, he managed to get that grab on me. Now I don't know how I survived that. I'm not gonna lie, because that was quite a heavy hitting attack. And I would always advise rolling either to the left or the right if you see him do it. He has a very slow recovery time with that one and that overhead slam, so you can run up and you can do damage. And the same with that one, as I said, you can definitely get some damage in and then run away. Now he does a ground pound. I wouldn't probably bother trying to burst counter that personally. You can if you've got your excellent timing, then absolutely fair enough. And I wouldn't roll backwards like I just did there, because you're going to take some heavy damage. As I said, this is the second time, so watching it back, it's very much easier to break it down for you guys rather than when I was actually during the fight. A lot of it is just patience. A lot of it is chipping away, kind of like not overextending, like I've said into my other boss fight videos. One of the big key things is getting greedy, and it can get you killed, no doubt of that. Now with this one, he does multiple attacks. I would try and get out of the way, try and block it. If you can tank it and they are heavy, absolutely fine. But if you're a light to mid build, try and get out of there as soon as you can. Yeah, you definitely want to be blocking those big attacks. And now what I do with the Guardian is that I realise I'm in a bit of a sticky situation, so I think, you know what, this is my get out of jail free card. So what I'm going to do is, as I went into it, he grabbed me, but I took no damage, as you can see there. So now we got him down to nearly dead, but I haven't taken that damage. I was lucky maybe with the timing, but hey, it's a get out of jail free card. If you're in a sticky situation and you're quite, near to beating him, it's well worth doing. Yeah, now you can see I run behind him, I do some damage, I roll away, because he does a kind of massive stamp. Does the kind of, like, I don't know what that is really, it's got very little range. I'm sure it does a lot of damage. Luckily that never hit me. And I use my whirlwind attack because, again, as I said, it's an attack that I really like. I do use the quick attacks, I do use the strongs, I use all the other attacks, but this one I find is just the best. Now that one, when he does the 3 adaches, I wouldn't necessarily try going to hit him, because he doesn't seem to really have a slow recovery on that particular move. And with this one then, he calls me into the Dark Realm again. He does this quite a few times. I don't know if some of you have had that experience, but he did this for me quite a lot more than some of the other bosses. And it may just be because they're getting a little harder. Now I did get fortunate with that one because I didn't follow my own advice, and I rolled backwards. Somehow he missed me. And that's a point about using a soul core you're familiar with. I decided to try it and I missed. It wasn't in range. One of those things. This one is just the burst counter, which, as I said, is like, if you can burst counter, that is the best part. And as you can see then, I managed to knock him down. Now, as I say, it is very hard to give breakdowns for every single build out there, but hopefully that was helpful in giving some idea of what you can actually do. So, if you do like the video, you found it helpful, by all means drop me a comment or a like. If you want to subscribe for future videos, then that would be fantastic. It'd be much appreciated. But otherwise, that is everything for this particular one. Now, I will be uploading other videos during next week. I've got a very good farming video for level 3 and so on, so there will be some other things coming in the future. But otherwise, that is it from me. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch. You have a great weekend and all the best. Take care. Cheers now. Bye-bye.